It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, any type to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Radio land, Facebook land. We are on YouTube, right? We're back on YouTube. Let me welcome you to the Real Issues this afternoon. Do not panic. Shelton is close. He's just running a few minutes late. He's in the building. He'll be with us. So your favorite host will be there. I'm just starting things off for him, opening the baton, so to speak. Like my favorite cricketer, Desmond Haynes. Yeah, that was my all-time favorite, Desmond Haynes, the sheet anchor. A man who knew how to hit for six and how to anchor an innings and anchor the West Indies. So you're stuck with me just for a few minutes, and then the host will be in the real host, Shelton. It's the day after. First of all, let me try to be like Shelton. It's a wonderful day. It's sunny, a bit too hot, and I think we're supposed to have a little heat wave until September. So, brace yourselves, hydrate. Well, I know I'm not drinking enough water. That is one of my sins. Okay, we're powered by Blue Waters, and I have to be drinking more water because we have to hydrate. The weekend on Saturday, Saturday started, it was not too good. What happened in the city was appalling. And every citizen ought to have raised his or her voice in condemnation of this brazen daylight shooting. Apparently, I don't know if it's gang related, I don't have that intelligence. But young men, I'm not sure women, took it upon themselves to open fire, to unalive people. Who invented that word, unalive? One on Jeremy Street and one just by Kentucky Fried Chicken. Businesses were closed. People had to run for cover. It's not a situation that we can tolerate. This cannot go on or continue to be allowed. Police officers, I know a lot of you are doing a fantastic job, and kudos, but we have to step up. You have to step up. I don't know what is wrong with your intelligence. Some people said they knew something was going to happen. If they knew, I don't know why they did not tell you all. But your intelligence, you have to up the game and have to take preemptive measures so that things like that do not occur again. Of course, you do not know the mind of people. The Bible says the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? We can't know it. Somebody gets up and then decides to go and unalive somebody. You can't know that. I understand that. But we need to beef up patrols in the city and in the other hotspots. The cameras, I'm not sure the situation of the cameras, whether they're working or not. But something has to give. And we cannot allow that. And citizens, those of you know, because there must be people who know. You cannot tell me broad daylight, something happened there. Fellas got away in a vehicle. You did not take the license plate number. You did not get a description of the attackers. But we keep quiet. We only see when the police are doing their job and we call police brutality. You understand? But when the criminals are doing their things, we keep shut. I mean, there's a 555 hotline. It's supposed to be, you call anonymously. You have to trust the police, I know there are some people who will tell you they'll never, ever, ever say anything to the police. I'm not one of those. You see, you could give your information anonymously because we cannot have the country in this. And of course, people took this time to play politics. But I'm of the view that we ought not to allow criminals to hold us hostage, put us under siege. Life must go on. And we cannot cower, we cannot bow and give in to the criminal elements. They cannot win. We cannot even show them that they have won. And today I read a post by a banker who was talking a whole set of nonsense. Yes, one group cancelled, yes, but they had an event anyway. So you want us to live in fear and go home and lock ourselves indoors for how long? These things are untenable. I mean, stick to banking. You hardly do anything on banking because you don't know anything about banking. But you want to be an armchair commissioner of police. But I'll deal with you in another forum. You understand? Crime is everybody's business. There's no one-shot solution. I wish there was. I wish there was a magic bullet. No pun intended. I wish there was something that we could, a tablet or something, and then everything will be all right. But there's not. It's multifaceted. We have to start from the schools, the communities. Family life is important. Family life, the family structure is important. And if that is broken, if that fiber is broken, we could have all kinds of problems. So it's a multifaceted approach we must adopt. There's no one size fit all. Some people want to see the Prime Minister take an AK-47, put on fatigues and go and hunt criminals. That's some people. That's all they're talking about. Him is the prime minister. So he's not the policeman. He's right. He doesn't. He's not involved in operational matters. He's there to sit with the high command, listen to them, and give them the tools that they require. It's the police's job to do what they have to do to keep us safe. So on that, I part company with this banker who thinks that he's a crime guru, and he knows absolutely nothing about everything and everything about nothing. You understand? Crime is a scourge, and it's one that is not helping. And the young men, I mean, we need to raise our voices, tell especially the young men, put down the guns. There must be a better way to solve your problems. You cannot be killing people because they disrespected you. What's the nature of the disrespect? Maybe he gave you a katai, or he said something. I remember once we were on our way to Jazz, group of us. And there was the build-up of people outside because the gates had not opened. I remember that very vividly. We were walking down, and one of my friends had a beverage in his hand, and in the commotion, somebody tripped on him, so he bent over. A little bit of the drink spilled on a gentleman in the front, and in 2 shakes of the brake, we saw a knife come out, and we were in shock. Like, hey, going to Jazz. 2 shakes of the brake at Pigeon Point. And I was like, it's an accident, and he was almost unalived for something that was not his fault. There must be a better way to solve our problems. We cannot continue in that manner. Young men, I mean, you are not living to 30, and some of you who are doing the killings, you believe it will not happen to you. But it will, because there's going to be a reprisal, a revenge. Because in the ghetto, everybody knows who is doing the killing. So your turn will come. And by the time you're 25, you're dead. You have left behind a child or 2. And you're, a mother struggling to maintain, and the cycle continues. So you have to tell, instead of rejoicing, I know there's a side that's rejoicing every time there's a murder. They're clasping their hands and the hallelujah because they think it's going to help their political cause. Sadly, no. Sadly, no. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help anybody. It's not helping the country. We as a people, as a collective, we ought to raise our voice and ask and plead, encourage, speak to, if we can. Tell these young men especially, because many young men, put down the guns. Your life is precious. Try to live to be the ripe old age of 60 or 70. At the rate you're going by 25, 26. Curtains, light out. That cannot be a life. You do not want to be living, and every minute, you cannot sleep because every minute you have to be looking over your shoulder because you did something, word has spread in the ghetto, and your name is on, everybody is looking for you. So you cannot close your eyes, you cannot sleep. And every minute of the night you hear something, maybe a Zandoli, you itch it, you jump in. That cannot be the life for you, man. That cannot be the life. Life is precious, man. You have to enjoy that. You understand? You have to, you have kids. You have to be able to take your kids out to play football, to run around, to see them go to school and develop, and, profiter according to the old people. But you are busy in a feud that makes absolutely no sense. Because when you trace the origin of that feud, maybe it started at school, the man called you big head, and you have held that grudge, and you figure, well, he must pay for that disrespect. Doesn't make sense. These killings are senseless. Doesn't make sense. And for those of you rejoicing and playing cheap, petty politics to score points, no, that's the wrong way to go. That cannot be. You think it is hurting, it's hurting the country, but do not think it will enhance your standing at the polls. As a matter of fact, I understand today should have been polling day elections. And I mean, if anybody has reports about yes.
Can I look at your hand, please? Your index
finger. No, I have not yet. I have not yet dipped.
How come I'm not seeing?
I have not dipped. So if anybody knows anything about what's happening at the polling stations, you could tell us what's happening because the Badventists called it today. So elections. But please, the crime situation, it's not helping us, and it's not good. Shelton?
Yes, thank you very much, Terry. Thanks for starting the program without me. Great job that you're doing so far. I think you're just spot on in dealing with the crime situation. We see all kinds of grandstanding and pontificating on platforms these days, using scripture, using Christianity, using biblical quotes as convenient, as handy. And I see a trend of one politician trying to scripture shame people. You know, it's always a scripture, and it's not just scripture shaming. It's judgmentalism, using scripture to support exactly what Jesus Christ said not to do. Judge not that ye not be judged. Now, it is true there are other people who have misapplied that quote from the founder of Christianity to say that you should never criticize people. And that's not true. If something is clearly wrong and it is at variance with scripture, you as a minister especially, but even as an ordinary Christian, especially in the Protestant tradition, which believes in what they call the priesthood of all believers, you are duty bound to point out that this is not right and this is wrong and this is sinful and this is egregious. But on matters of subjectivity of human choice, which fall within the province of the freedom of people, what right, what business, what legitimacy do you have to be telling people on every occasion that you cannot be a Christian and to be supporting Philip J. Pierre? You cannot be a believer and to say you with the Labour Party. I mean, this is judgmentalism taken to the extreme, to the arrogant extreme, to an extreme that is self-condemning, that you are telling people, you know, are there not people in the world who believe that of Donald Trump, that if you are a believer or Christian, you should not support Donald Trump? Are there not Muslim radicals and so on who will suicide bomb anybody who they know supports Donald Trump because they believe he's Satan personified? These subjective opinions of people, you know, ought not to be things that are given almost a canonical authority about them, you know, like this guy Joseph Guy. You know, qui toujours capable de toute langue, toute dingue, toute lèvre, toute gauche, so you believe he knows what he's saying. These kinds of things, you know. I mean, who are you to come and tell people what their relationship with God? And, you know, you actually start sentences by saying, I know we say that God is the one who causes governments to rise and governments to fall. It doesn't use governments, really. I think it says kingdoms to rise and kingdoms to fall. But we have so few kingdoms. So we say, does anything take God by surprise? Is there anything that happens that God says, oh my goodness, I didn't see that coming, I have to move to a plan B? You know? That God doesn't know that at this time, before Philip J. Pierre existed, before the world existed, that he knew that in this period of time, the St. Lucia Labour Party would be forming the government and a man called Philip Joseph Pierre would be the prime minister? Does he not know everything? Eternity is laid out before him. We know in the best theology that he doesn't need to wait for something to happen to know it will happen. He knows the end from the beginning, even before the beginning of the beginning. He knows it even in the scriptures, you know. What is it in Revelation where it says that Jesus Christ was slain before the foundation of the world? Now, if he died for our sins, if he was crucified on the cross so that we could find salvation, how come he was slain before we even existed? Or is it that the foreknowledge of God is so great that God didn't need to wait for that particular date in Palestine 2,000 years ago, whatever? God knew it was going to happen. And it is ignorant people who try to use scripture and Christianity and spirituality too much for the very limited, very perverse use of things like politics, who do not understand that there is, on the sum of it, no difference between the foreknowledge of God and the causation of God. If God knew that Shelton Daniel is going to, when he gets out of the studio, going to get hit by a truck round the corner by the Sanssouci area where NBC is and get killed, you know, and God knew it before Shelton Daniel was born, and God didn't do anything about it to stop it. We say that it's part of the will of God. His chessboard, he moves things on without knowing. So for a preacher or elder or whatever the rank, nowadays to take a style, it's a style and fashion now to be telling people that, you know, God could never have wanted Philip J. Pierre to be the prime minister. So who wanted him to be? If God didn't want him to be, how come he is? If God hates the Labour Party and has it marked for judgment, okay, he can have it marked for judgment. I find this kind of thing is just becoming too frequent. Is the Seventh-day Adventist Church a church that is of such limited channels that there is nobody in authority who can say to this elder, look, we respect your right to go into politics, but brother, this is really taking it too far. What about our brethren in the church who we love and who love us, who decide they want to support the Labour Party? Are you telling them that they're all bound for hell? Are you telling them that they're all children of the devil? Are you telling us that they're all evil? Or like a former attorney general in the previous UWP administration said, are you trying to tell them that they're beyond redemption? Is that the message of judgment and condemnation that you want to send out, even to brethren in Christ for whom Christ died on the cross for the sake of politics? And this is what? This attempting to meld religiosity and Christianity and Seventh-day Adventism with the politics and those sorts of things. I just find it's going on too much. There doesn't seem to be any counterbalancing voice from the Adventist Church to say, are you all afraid of Guy Joseph? So Joachim Henry, who was Seventh-day Adventist, he's an evil guy. He's a guy bound for hell. Dr. Robert Lewis, Many Sarambali, so many Seventh-day Adventist people that we knew and still know are involved in the politics. Was Eubaldus Raymond who left the Labour Party to join the UWP, who was part of your team? Does that mean that Eubaldus was condemned? So why did you accept him into the UWP? Why didn't you kick hell when he jumped ship, when he crossed the floor? This thing is going on and on and on. People have their passions, I can understand. But to corrupt and twist and pervert scriptural exegesis to suit a narrow political agenda, you need to ask yourself questions about your own self. Where do you stand? Are you really focused on the fundamentals of God and salvation and those kind of things? To be every time like that, hitting people with that kind of message. Anyway,
and if there is one person to me who does not stand or represent Christianity well, is this Adventist. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you look at Robert Lewis, when you take the life of Robert Lewis, the example he set, was there any scandal relating to Robert Lewis? Mm-hmm. Was there any finger pointing? Did Robert Lewis sign any Pajot letter?
Yeah, but this is one of the reasons why you probably didn't understand why I had a soft spot for Stephen Favre on account of his parents.
Yes.
Joe and Belinda Favre knew me as a Fabron labor, and but that never stopped them from welcoming me into their home, from giving me the utmost treatment, the best that they had. Their food was always modest because they never people who were concerned about money and wealth and all that thing. You never heard them talking about it or this kind of thing. Joseph Favre, who's still alive, Pastor Joseph N. Favre, believed exactly in what the Apostle Paul said to one of the churches, that having food, sustenance, and covering, we shall be content with those things. That's right. The man was content with those things. Belinda Favre was content with it. I sat by a table and ate many a humble meal, but had good conversations. A lot of things. And that is why. So, don't you believe I knew that they were UWP leaning? But I never made a problem. The Christian love was so deep and so rooted. They never thought anywhere about me. I never thought anywhere about them. But this guy is like he's making it an issue that if you are a Christian, ain't no way in hell, much less heaven.
But how can I be a Christian and follow a man who will sign 2 Pajot letters?
Yeah.
And where was that money going to?
Yeah.
You signed 30 direct awards in one day. You were on TV admitting that you committed fraud. You told a foreign government, I had to pretend that the work was not done, so that it was already done, so I could get the money. Yeah. And up to now, you could not pay. Up to then, 5 years or more, you could not pay fellas like Frank Charles, the small contractors. And you want to tell me you are a Christian? Man, the Bible says, man, when you see your brother has need and you do not open the bowels of compassion, how dwelleth the love of God in you? You are one who went on TV and said, if they don't eat, they will not die. When people gave you money to give people money, instead what you said, you think people will give us money to give people money, so you'd rather them starve. So you would not give them money, but we know where the money went to and to whom. Yeah. You understand? Because in the middle of whatever fellas having wedding for 500 guests or more with 10 bars, etc. You know what I mean? You could splash and splurge. Not you, I don't know about you, I'm just talking generally, you know what I mean? When you see these kind of things happen, you have to ask her, I want a salary of $10,000, you could do that. You understand?
Yes.
So when you're talking about you're Christian, boy, it reminds me of the quote by Mahatma Gandhi. I like your Christ, but I don't like your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. And Guy Joseph, Mahatma Gandhi he saw you when he said that. He likes your Christ, but he doesn't like your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. That's you, the Adventists.
And a man like that, tomorrow, Adventists have a crusade or whatever,
yeah.
or some kind of evangelistic out. This man will be antagonizing so many people who will wonder, look, am I welcome in this church? Am I someone who can be accepted as a Christian? And this is what the Bible says about stumbling people's faith.
Yes.
You're stumbling their faith because you're making people believe that their political allegiance in what is purely a temporal, transient thing that is passing away. Right. Like Paul said to the Corinthians, do not destroy the work of God for food, bickering over Jews who still caught in the centuries-old aversion to, let's say, pork, and the Gentile people of the Greco-Roman world who never had a problem with it. You know, don't get into this kind of factionalization and destroying the work because of food. Food for the belly and the belly for food. But God will destroy both it, the belly, and the foods, them. Will destroy both it and them. This man is going to stumble people. He's going to make people reluctant. He's going to make it difficult to witness and to evangelize and to convert people because he is categorizing and he is virtually pigeonholing people into a political little corner that if you're there, you're not good, you're not worth, you're going to hell because you support Philip J. Pierre. I mean, that's a minister of the gospel.
Yeah.
That's a minister of the gospel.
He's a student of the Bible. Man, you don't know your Bible, you are a hypocrite. You know what I mean? You are the devil's son himself. For a man to stand up in parliament and say, if they don't eat, why you Satan himself? Or Satan incarnate, or an agent of Satan. So don't try to use the Bible. That's what you're doing, you know. Now, this morning, Shelton, when I was doing my exercise, a lady came up to me because she watches the show. A staunch Catholic. And she was not happy about what's happening. You know how them fellas using the Catholic Church and taking the Catholic Church up happy show. Because she said, but Mr. Fernando, Holy Communion, that's a sacrament, you know. That's sacred. And she seen people that are not Catholic going up there. There was one of the politicians, he went up. You could see that man, he took the what do you call it, the losty? The body of Christ. He put it in his hand and he just went. Because you see that fellas just using the church to mask the evil and to pretend, you know, that
this particular one, this fellow is very divisive. Now, I knew that, but I said to myself, hey, man, it's politics for you. Politics is divisive. We can talk unity as much as we want. Politics is always about us versus them. It's always about they bad, we good. But that's politics. But what this guy is doing is that he's taking the very thing that should put us above the politics, that should put us out of the realm of politics. And you know, Christianity is supposed to be, as was described, that God has raised us through Jesus Christ and seated us in the heavenlies with him. You know, so even though we are on the earth, even though we may bicker in politics, even though we may bicker over who's supporting this team and who's not supporting this team and so on. But above and beyond that, we are seated in the heavenlies, in a place above all these things that we shall live one day, and they don't really matter. But you know, this fella is so intent on being divisive. You know, I have to ask myself, people that I know are Seventh-day Adventists, Eustace Monrose, he's retired now. I think I can say Eustace Monrose, former permanent secretary. Eustace is a known supporter of the Labour Party. There are other people that we know who are not supporters. There are people who are passive. There are people who are neutral. There are people who don't care. Are you going to tell me that your basis for deciding whether those people qualify and should be accepted and embraced by you as brethren is whether they are UWP or whether they SLP? You know, that's the basis on which you will judge Hezi Rambali, the late, and his family and so on, and so many of those people, where they stand, whether they are Adventists or whether they whatever religion. That's the basis on which you're going to judge them. Well, you know, so the work of Christ gets reduced to human temporal partisanship. I mean, come on, man, you have to be bigger than that if you're a minister of the gospel.
So we have established that this guy is an Adventist. He uses the Bible for his evil, you know, to promote his evil and to scare you, to put fear in your heart and to scare you. You are a fellow who, 2 Pajua letters, you should be in jail. You should be in jail. 2 Pajua letters. And he does it, you should be in jail. He does it and every time. About Christianity, man. You know? I like your Christ. I don't like your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. Mahatma Gandhi was speaking to you, boy. You know, so stop using the Bible to come and, you know, pretend that you are some saint. You are the devil himself. And you cannot convince anybody otherwise. You know what I mean? This is, I mean, I didn't come to say that, you know, but that's how you let people do that.
Let's not go down the same road that he has gone down. Sometimes in our annoyance, we can do the same thing and call him that he is not and whatever it is. God knows where he is. But what he's saying there, in terms of his words, we are hearing them, and we can respond to them.
We'll come out after the thing. We'll do some pleasant stuff after the break.
Okay, Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. Don't go away.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, any type to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Appreciate you tuning in at the start of another week and staying with the real issues powered by Blue Waters with me, Shelton Daniel, and Terry Fenelon. Our program, as you know, airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station Real FM that serves you on the frequencies of 91.3 megahertz for the northern part of St. Lucia and 91.5 for the south. It is Monday, the 18th of August 2025, which should be polling day, based upon a certain prophets, prophesying that elections will be held. Given the absolute certainty, the cocksureness, the cogency, the verve and the passion with which when he speaks, he makes his pronouncements, I thought maybe he knew something that Prime Minister didn't know, Governor General didn't know, Supervisor of Elections didn't know, and that it was going to devolve. I think there's somewhere in the Bible that says that any prophet who comes and prophesies falsely, pretentiously, that he knows things and that he's been given a word, what should be done to him? I believe it said certain things. Of course, I don't want to see that literally happen to this individual, but by his prediction, which he never came back and said, oh, I was just joking, or he never walked it back. Today should have been election day, but let's leave that alone. On the weekend, I happened to take my usual drive up north in the evenings. I do it in the evening because I really cannot take on. I think there was an occasion I had to go up north through the traffic and all, and it was really bad that particular day. There was some piece of heavy equipment, how you call those flatbed trailers and so on, that was hauling something, and apparently it stalled or labor, as they say in the hill, and they had to bring in another huge, dump truck and so on to try to pull it out, and a few other areas where things just were not moving. And even when things are moving, they're moving so slow and at such a crawl. But I was surprised on Saturday evening to see how quiet the roads were, how empty the roads, especially up north, Castries to Grosley, were. I mean, you could drive and for some distance not see another vehicle, which is unusual for a Saturday night, or for that matter, at any time whatsoever to see it. And then I decided to pull up at one of my favorite spots. I have very few of them, really. But I think you'll have heard me talk about a certain Yannick at Marisale and so on. And he and his, I think, girlfriend and brothers and so on, they have this little place where they barbecue things, provide, different dishes with the barbecue, or they might do roast or whatever it is. Very good. A good price and good service, nice ways, That's one of the things I like with people. I only to realize at the time that this is not the time Yannick normally closes. And I called him afterwards. He didn't see the call, but he called me back. I said I was calling to find out how come you were closed, and then I realized it must have been because of the violence, of the day. And he said, man, you know how it is already. And he didn't need to say anything because he's one of the people, when I came back from Antigua, that I got to know because of my late night little drive habits. That's how I met Moso. And only to find out Moso is either his uncle or Moso's wife is his aunt, They're related. They're very close to each other and so on. Good people and so on. Keep on what you're doing, Yannick. You all heard me talk about Skinny and others, and Mr. Aziz, who I managed to go to the weekend. I hadn't been by him for a while, getting along in years, he and his wife, but they're doing. But, to think, and I suspect it was so, why the road was so empty, what had happened the Saturday had people. And this is one of the things I've been talking about, not just because of the crime and the loss of life, but the wider impact it is going to have on our society. It is going to have on our commerce. It is going to have on our small businesses. When it creates that kind of climate of fear, that on a weekend when I'm sure is probably the best time for many of those people with their little shops and the vendors and so on. I mean, how many vendors on the sidewalks of Castries would be out late on a Friday or Saturday? Do you think there would have been? People are afraid. And here's one of the reasons, not because crime is a new thing, But the criminals seem to have become more daring, more brazen, more family. They're doing it in broad daylight among people. They don't care who they hit. They don't care who sees them, because in quite a few instances, the guys have no mask, you know. They're not even bothering to mask. They're coming out and the opening fire is... You believe those guys is not if they want to kill Shelton Daniel, you know, I hope not. That they cannot find a kind of a situation where he's just entering his vehicle and there's nobody else around, or some other place where it won't have much or any impact on other people. They deliberately come where they know there is a crowd. It's like, I've been talking about the show of bikers, the fellas who wait until they're too thick and long lines of traffic that they can zip through it because they want to show how slick, you know, they are, how slick, nimble, agile, and whatever they are with their bike. It looks like we have show-off shooters now. Guys who come and target people at times when they know a lot of people, maybe in addition to killing the person, they like to see people scatter. They like to see people run. They like to hear people scream and so on. And that is why I've been making the case that we probably need to look for a new categorization of crime and something else to put on our law books that will categorize crimes like that as being a form of terrorism. You know, we don't have only to think of terrorism in terms of blowing up a plane and blowing up a train and doing this kind of thing. It is intended to create terror and panic on people so that people, coming out of what happened on Saturday, let me ask you a question. Do you believe people are more or less likely to want to come forward and to give information? People will say, if those guys can come, and it happened on, what was it, on Derek Walcott Square some time ago, you know, let's not forget the Alana Bernard shooting, while there was not a crowd, but this happened in daylight when other people saw the vehicle they saw. There wasn't any sneak shooting of let us wait in her flower garden or in her hedgerow and then shoot her from the cover of the hedge so that by the time people realize what happened, we're gone already. It's like we're getting out of a car and we're pointing it at her. I mentioned a few years ago, Hermia Lord, right on the bus, the busiest bus stand in St. Lucia, 7:30 in the morning, a guy comes and again, I don't think his face was massive. If it was, he didn't care. People saw him right among people. He pumped how many shots into the woman. More and more, it is not the murders alone, but the brazenness, the openness with which it is being done. They are trying to terrify people. And by making more people witness it, they're making more people fearful. That if I say something, you know, maybe that guy might have seen my face might have imprinted on his memory. He'll know I was one of those who was there. He might want to come for me, or those guys, whatever. You never know who might talk. People are becoming more fearful, and we're asking people to cooperate with the police more. But the way the thing is developing now, it is making people, to my mind, I could be wrong, I hope I am, more afraid than they would have been before. And that is why I have said, apart from my recommendation, that we deal with those things as a form of terrorism, so that even if nobody die, the fact that you come, because a licensed firearm owner is under that restriction, unless it is a situation where your life is in such danger that according to what we would call the law of necessity, you have no other choice but to do it. But the law frowns upon you firing your opening, you know, shooting off your firearm in a residential area, in a place like Sanssouci where there's houses. Was it absolutely necessary? Could you not have done? And sometimes if you do it, even if it's a warning shot that you fire, you could find yourself in trouble with the law if you're licensed. So why should people who don't have license, most likely, who have, you know, unlicensed guns, can come and open fire in the middle of Castries on a busy, you know, Saturday morning when people are out and so on in an area close to one of the major fast food places? I mean, we have to understand the psychology and deal with them with a severity that is even greater than if they had done it in a manner, although crime and murder, you can't say it's discreet, but done it in a manner that looks like you did not expose other people to that kind of risk. And once again, I will keep on saying, police, I understand your work. Your work is very difficult. It's very complicated. It's very involved and so on. But on other jurisdictions I have been, the police have held press briefings in the aftermath of such spits of crime where they basically have told people, look, this is still an active investigation. We are looking at it. But all the signs indicate that these things are gang-related. These things are drug-related, that people are retaliating against people for taking their stash. It's not a case of you look at somebody and they just find that you're rude to look at them. So people don't panic to think that, I look at a guy and he do me, what happened, and that I'm going to get shot. Having a population that is unnecessarily unsettled, that is unnecessarily spooked and panicked and so on, is as dangerous as having one that is complacent, having one that is indifferent, apathetic, whatever the word is and so on. I think the police need to let the public know what they're in. You don't have to mention names. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to reference any particular case. Word we are getting, although it is still unproven, but our intel, our sniffing and snooping around suggests that this is may be connected to revenge for previous shootings, and that relatives or friends of somebody was shot before want to take revenge on them. So it is not a case of they might just watch you and open fire on you. However, we are concerned about the nature of the crimes, the lack of concern for bystanders and passers-by, etc., etc. This seems to be getting more frequent. And so our advice to you is that if it is not absolutely necessary for you to stop, to keep moving about your business, go do it, whatever, this kind of things, maybe you tell people, it gives them a little greater sense of, if not confidence, certainly assurance that at least I can make my way and not be in a complete state of terror and panic. I actually went down, where was it, by Skinner's. And I don't know, maybe there are other reasons, maybe time of the month, school opening soon, people holding on to their money. But that and a few other places, the kind of patrons that you would see in terms of the quantity of people for the weekend, it just was not the same. And it would not surprise me if people now are in a state of absolute wariness. You have to watch yourself. You have to look around you. Something can erupt at any moment. Something can happen at any moment. It's not good for the country. It's not good for business. It's not good for tourism. It's not good for people's enjoyment of their country. Police, while I was up at Grosley, and I said how the road was empty and not many people, I happened to be sitting in my vehicle because I was thirsty, and of course, all supermarkets, nothing like that, closed, gas station. Luckily, there was a young man who was selling water. He had a little push cart and so on. And I asked him what he's got. He said he has coconut water and the blue waters. Well, if I wanted coconut water, I wouldn't have bought it because of what we saw on the TV about a young man who was filling bottles and so on in some kind of unsanitary conditions. So I looked at it and I said, I hope they haven't figured out a way to spook. Well, not to spook, but to rig bottles and so on, that they can seal it and make it look like it's the genuine thing. So I asked him, the Blue Waters bottles that he has there, how many does he have? He said 5. I took all 5 of them. I haggled with him a bit because he said it's $4 a bottle. I said, man, $4, normally this thing sells for $3, So he said, no, if you go inside the little eatery that's there, you're going to get... And actually, I went to the little eating place. I didn't want anything to eat. I wanted water. I said, no, look, this guy outside there, he's selling. He had 5. I said, boy, next thing I feel thirsty again and I need, just let me take all 5 of them. That's where one of them comes from. And plus it's Blue Water. So I said, okay, I'm supporting my brand, etc. But a police passed. They did a stop in the area. And they passed and they looked inside my vehicle and I bent down like that, and I looked at them. And the guy looked again mid-show and then he waved me, I don't know if he recognized me or if he just realized, I'm somebody, So they stopped. I'll tell you why I'm telling that in a while. They went a little lower down where Bank of St. Lucia Grosley is. And then I saw them stop some people and they did that little wedge, to make sure that they can't really push past them and so on. And they checked them out, spent some time with them. And then, okay, they were satisfied. They let the car go and they themselves went away. And I'm just thinking, look at the police, they just passed by me. They just checked me out. They didn't ask me to open a vehicle or anything. But they just checked me out. What is to prevent, within minutes of them leaving, somebody decides, okay, the coast is clear, let me do it. This idea that the police can be everywhere. That they can predict and anticipate what's going to happen to put themselves. When the police left, I saw a guy, his vehicle parked alongside mine. He took out a phone and is calling. I said, how do you know he's not there? Calling his buddies down the road to tell him, watch it, there are 2 police vehicles coming. Police are in the area. Sometimes the people are way ahead of the police. They're coordinating with each other. They're alerting each other. They're cautioning each other. They're doing all those kinds of things. So let us stop this thing about putting pressure on the police about how come they were not there. You think the police could have known what was going to happen on Miku Street near, KFC or the cathedral, whatever would have happened? You think they could have known that? You think they could have known what happened on Jeremy Street, the taxi stand there, with so many people around, that this kind of thing would happen? So then the police would have been there. They pass. The guys know they're going to have to make a big round and a few other stops before they come, and that's when they do their things. We have to cooperate with the police. We have to continue. We have to be courageous. But I want to say, police, give as much help as you can to the citizenry with well-targeted briefings so people can have a sense, they'll know what to look for, and also not to be in a state of undue panic and disquiet. Neither situation helps. Apathy, complacency don't help. Panic and disquiet do not help. Terry, sorry for that. I didn't mean to take so long.
I mean, we have time. We have tomorrow, we have Wednesday. We have to deal with
it. Take it away.
But, we were talking about Christianity and fellows, people using the church to hide.
Misapplication of scripture,
yes.
and misrepresentation.
Look at one of my friends. You could see his name there. You know his brother. He says, a certain person is a Christian, but he's going after my 12-year-old daughter.
Now, going after her in what sense? In kind of a
he will be giving me the messages. I'm going to read it and I'm going to expose that.
Like a pedophile?
Pedophile!
12-year-old daughter.
Yeah, but now, you quote the scripture.
Now, these are the kind of things.
Quote the scripture.
I'm not encouraging it.
Yeah.
You have a 12-year-old daughter, and some grown man goes interfering with her. It will not surprise me if we never know how many of those crimes are connected to that kind of thing.
That's
People
right.
who feel, well, go there, I have to expose my daughter to the shame, to the ridicule,
precisely.
to all the criticism, and then I may never get justice. People just take matters into their own hands. You understand? Be very careful when you do these kind of things in today's world. Not everybody can suck it up and hold their horses on those kinds of things.
Now, just think too. You're in a position of power. People come to you for assistance. You want to assist, but you need your pound of flesh.
Yes.
You know how many of our young children have been brutalized? Well, that way.
You say you're going to expose the person?
Yes, man.
I would caution against that.
No. I will. I
would caution against that.
I'm better than that. But I can find my way to release the information.
Okay.
I will not do it here to sue for you to sue me.
But
I can release.
It's not only a matter of suing. It's a matter of justice.
Justice. Yes. So after my partner's 12-year-old daughter. We'll deal with you.
But you can expose the messages of
yes when it comes. I'm going to expose it, and once I know, you'll know. Anyway, Shelton, just put up. If you want this meet, well, it's this. Let me know. Picture 2. Those of you who didn't vote, don't worry about that. I just got this. My guy just sent that to me about a few minutes ago.
As the tale of two prime ministers?
The tale of two prime ministers. Titus, thank you. Titus, boy, you are that guy. Your leader will be in a lot of trouble. Are we stuck here? I think we're stuck here, Shelton, I think we are stuck here. Let me refresh. Is it on screen yet? Because I think our feed is stuck. My feed. Okay, well, let me pull up on the phone, sometimes you get stuck, Shelton. So is the flyer up? Yes, I can see it here. Let me use this one instead. The tale of two prime ministers. If you want that should be your display pic, Easy as you go, steady as you go, measured. Sheldon, I love this. I love this thing so bad, You won't believe. Titus, I want to thank you for being so apt in your description of my prime minister. He's measured. All right, and he's steady as you go. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Shelton. I don't know about you. And you have labeled for us this other guy who is spontaneous. In other words, ipa mele ges kafe bagay vai ki vai. Is vai ki vai, right? Not vai ki vai. Vai ki vai. He does not count the cost, and he's reckless. So if you want that, let me know. I'll circulate it. It could be your display pic, or you could put it up as your status. Right, Shelton? I love it. And my man, thank you for responding so quickly. You did that in a matter of 2 minutes to me to send. All right? Okay. My friend has just sent me 2 of the messages from that particular politician to his daughter. Sheldon?
I'm reading him, you know.
Eh?
I'm reading one.
Read one.
Where he says, do not ask your father for anything. I'll take care of you, your beautiful woman. I can read the second one?
You can read the second one.
When you're coming to see your friend, come to my office alone. That's at Forestier.
I don't know which politician.
All right.
I don't know which politician. But that's messages. It's there for...
Tell the person send more right now.
No. We shall meet where we sagashit and you'll give me all the rest.
Okay.
We shall meet in our usual spot and you'll give me all the rest. So when I drop in, boom, go low. I drop in. You too how you are. Now, Danny, boy, I came to deal to handle you today because, man, I was so impressed, Danny Butcher. But we'll do that tomorrow. We want to open the lines. But before we open the lines, I have told you already, our Prime Minister, you see that man who is measured and who is steady as you go? He's not a charlatan. He's not a boaster. He doesn't wear his religion on his... He's not flashy. He's just delivering the goods. And all the Caribbean leaders are copying him. Mia Motley, the brilliant person, yeah, she's brilliant, or a brilliant orator. She went to the Saudis, she followed him, and I told you already, I showed you that. Gaston Brown, 1 graduate per household and stuff. Let's go to Guyana. I think it's picture 1. Picture 1. If I can read, let me just pull up. Last night alone, last night at the political rally, you know Ufam is his partner. Ufam is his partner. Ufam Ali.
Okay.
There are 2 partners. Don't worry, fellas, you know, 2 partners are there, you know. 2 partners that there. Ufam Ali and PJP. They partner. And don't forget, Ufam Ali, he invited the Honorable Richard Frederick Dong.
Yes.
Ufam Ali sent some greenhouses for us. It's at Union, and the students are benefiting. Starbatch, you could tell us more about that. But Ufam Ali must have had a talk with Philippe J. Breaking news. President Dr. Ufam Ali on Sunday night, that was last night, announced that the old age pension will be increased to a minimum of $60,000 should the People's Progressive Party, $60,000, that's Ghanaian dollars, that's about roughly $775 in our money.
Okay.
That's basically, and don't forget the oil richer, they loaded with oil. Philip JP we do not have oil, we do not have gold, we do not have bauxite, nothing. What Philip JP has is a brilliant mind, a working brain, and is able to manage the economy so that the surpluses we have, he can distribute and we can get a share of the pie.
In the measured
way. Measured. So people, let me tell you something. You see all of you all that have the yellow shirts and they give you all money to come to the go. But you see, when it's election day, do not vote against yourself. That's life and death. Do not vote against yourself. So Philip JP has raised the pensionable age. He says 750. No civil servant, no pensioner from the public service should be getting less than that. Some are getting 4. He raised that to 725. NIC pensioners, some are getting 240. I tell you, there's a gentleman who comes to the beach every morning. Tell me, boss, let me tell you, from the time he did that, because my wife and I be happy. It has gone from 2-something to 500. And now Dr. Ali in Guyana, oil-rich Guyana, has now raised the pensionable, the pensions. So now they'll be getting a minimum of $770. And not only that, the students will be getting $200,000 a year.
Okay.
You know, like we have the bursary of 500.
Right.
So they'll have that. Now here we pay transportation for a lot of the kids. But they're not doing it, so they're giving them the transportation money. So they'll pay the transportation. So you see, coordination. The brothers, they meet and they talk. And they decide, how can we help each other? You know, best practice. And Ufam Ali has copied from... That's why I tell you, see, put up that thing. put up that picture. Those of you who want it, tell me you want it. Say, I want it. I'll drop it. Put that as your display pic. Put that on a postcard. Put that somewhere. Let people see. The tale of 2 prime ministers, man. The tale of 2 prime ministers. One is measured and steady. steady as you go. Another, spontaneous and reckless. But you can't shake that because we all know that. You're reckless. Now, I mean, Shelton, I think we almost due for a break and we have to open the line. So, Danny, Shelton will allow me. We will deal with you tomorrow. When I say deal with you, we will handle your business. Because, man, I know Dr. You can't fail Dr. Anthony's boots. But, bro, if that's the way you have started, in time,
he's given a good account.
Yeah, on your debut
as a protege, of
as opposed to I felt as the land, the people, the light. The land, the people, the light. The land. That's the substance of the fellow's contribution on the stage. But man, Lisa. Oh, we'll deal with you all. We have the whole week. But tomorrow, Danny, I came today. But tomorrow is your day, Danny, because you were impressive, impressive, like all get out. Man, I was spellbound. Your answer, and I just told I'm Shelton, you all look alike. Shelton, you all have a resemblance. No. And Shelton says because of the Daniel. Blue Waters break, Shelton.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much, Terry. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We'll return shortly, and as Terry has told you, the lines will be open for your calls, and we'll try to get into some of your messages as well.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway. Call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, any type to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Powered by Blue Waters. We're on the home stretch in the last half hour leading to our closure at 2 o'clock. For the day, we have a caller waiting throughout the commercial break, it seems. You're on the air, go ahead. Hello?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, you're on the air.
Yes, first time I ever called a TV show. What I am assuming that all this political violence going on.
Political violence?
Yeah. Political violence. It may be political violence.
Okay.
So, am I wrong to assume that?
So why are you saying that?
Why I'm saying that?
I mean, do you know something that nobody else knows, that the violence is political?
No. What I'm saying is, presently, the Labour Party is doing a fantastic job, and the only witness so far, or black mark with the party, is the crime issue.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, I am not leaving it. It may be a far-fetched idea, but there's a possibility something under the cover is going on.
You might not be alone in your thinking.
Well, gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you as well. All right, 487-9849, that is the number on which you can WhatsApp call us, 758-487-9849. Send your WhatsApp calls to that number. And you can also reach us on the local landline 4533911. We have someone else on the line. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Gentlemen,
yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
I have been clamoring for this piece, this word, to come out in one of our legislations when it comes to crime. The word discretion. I believe if what is going on today is supposed to be forceful and not leaving it to the magistrate discretion as to how much that you should bill Felino, how much that you should bill Shelton, how much that you should bill Frank. It's either no bill or a sum which is 60, 80, 100 thou fixed. Because I remember sometime last year, that was just after the government went to amend laws on the criminal code. And a magistrate billed somebody in Sunny Acres, somewhere around there, with a gun and ammunition for $6,000. And the same week, another guy got another bill for $40,000. That cannot be left to the discretion. If we want to curb crime that cannot be left to the discretion of the magistrate. It's either we have no bail or we have a price that is fixed. Because soon or later, $6,000 is joke for these guys to go out and use another firearm to commit another crime. I'm also proposing that it is time that legislation should be changed and they should use ankle bracelets. The moment you are caught with a firearm, we should put an ankle bracelet on you. And the ankle bracelet, I know there is laws for it here for child molesters and pedophiles, but we should have it extended to criminals and people found with firearms without license or ammunition. And notwithstanding, we must never forget that what is happening in St. Lucia today, we don't make guns, my brother. The importation of guns are turned to a business in St. Lucia. It's we, the government, the police force, the police hierarchy, the customs department, the customs hierarchy, everywhere our borders are, they should have thorough checks and investigations as to why these things keep passing through these areas. Just recently, you heard what happened in a barrel. A guy came to pick up this, guy came to pick up that. Fortunately enough, they got hold of the person. So that means to tell you a lot of stuff are coming through these areas, and we should crack down on these things. But like I said, if you talk to any police officer, they'll tell you target shooting is one of the most difficult crimes to stop and solve. But we have to find ways of maintaining it. Well done.
Thank you, caller.
All right, thank you very much. Is there a situation where a newcomer politician now is promising to build a playing field and whatever?
I hope that is his land.
Yeah, because I mean, can you just go on anybody's
government
land,
land
even
and
government land, and
precisely.
just decide that you're constructing?
Has he resigned his position?
Well, I would assume
Is
so.
that another Elisha situation? We don't know.
I don't know.
You see the kind of lawlessness in this country? All right.
Hi, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello, Sheldon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
How you guys doing, gentlemen? Have you guys cast your ballot?
In a while.
Well, I did mine, but I used invisible ink, you know.
Okay, because
it's only when you put it under a certain scan or whatever that you'll see it.
Okay, guy is on the ballot. So I see from the gutter, I see Kakal is doing a plain field in Grace. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
That must be his land. If it's his land, that's fine. If it's his private property, that's fine.
He said that it was donated by the Catholic Church.
Okay, all right.
Yes. Yeah. So I took offense to what Guy said there. Pastor Guy was preaching his false doctrine yesterday
That's the Adventist.
to his disciples. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, yes, and an elder, and I took offense to that. That is out of place for Guy to come and tell people if they support in the Labour Party. It's like the hell doom, and if someone quotes scripture, just now, who Guy think he is?
Yeah, the files on him.
That Adventist, he needs to stop.
What do you think he is? Yeah.
He needs to stop. This. I think he's going a bit too far. I mean, I don't speak on behalf of the church, but as an Adventist, I took offense to that. Yes, I think it's out of place. I just wanted to share that. So enjoy the rest of the day, guys. Good one.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
bye.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
All right, we're taking your calls. 487-9849, the mobile number on which you can WhatsApp call us, and 4533911, the local landline. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Shelton, and how are you today?
Doing great, and you?
Mr. Sheldon, I called you during last week. I don't know if you remember about Elisha Norbert.
Elisha Norbert?
Yes, about a voicemail where we're recording him saying a lot of things. Now, last Sunday, he had a meeting in Nikud. Richie said that I'm the person that make the record on Elijah Norbert. I'm the person that made the record. He came by my home, and he was saying his things, and I record him. He said that Jeremiah paid me pay me to work on him. Mr. Shelton, Jeremiah office, they go to ask, call Jeremiah. If you want to give me my name, I just barely go to Jeremiah office. Imagine for how many months Jeremiah, you know when I saw Jeremiah? Last night I saw Jeremiah. Now, two, when Elijah saying his things about pity for time, remember, our song they played for him, pray for him before you go. Blue Boy, he gave every day. I think that's the best song that fits that man right now there. Because devil in disguise. Elijah nobody said somebody in disguise. Look at just what do a lady in Mikud during the weekday. He took the lady to the health center. He checked from the village to the health center. He charged the lady $20. If you say that's not true, ask him. Let him call and say that's not true.
Who you said did that?
Elisha Nobert.
Yeah, Elisha Nobert is providing taxi services.
I don't know. But he took the lady, bring the lady to the health center, and he charged the lady $20. That same Elijah said he's in short trip. When he came and had a meeting, he said, well, what do you want to do? Put a shutter in? What kind of shutter in there? Now, when I go back to crime, I had somebody call a while and said, that's not the first time. I'm 61 years. I was born and raised in Charles Street. You see Waterworks, Marshall, all those places. I born New Village. I raised in Marshall. I remember a certain age once. I don't know if you remember that disco they call it Sun 7. Mm-hmm. We went there this Saturday morning. When we reached on not Jeremy Street, where the court is. How that should be? When you reached there, they had gunshots burning there between Gabu, Cassie, and I don't know if you all remember that. People had to go in the big gutter on the chaussee. Yeah. Light on the big gutter, gunshots. So when Flabo is saying that it was always happening. It was happening small. That time was because of marijuana. But now it's different now. It's cocaine now. No police can stop those things that happen there. What the only way they could right now is tackle the gun.
Calypso, a very popular Calypso was actively
that's tackle the gun. I told my train what was seen there was already happening. But a lot of people say, that never happened before. On all that time, who was in power? Compton was in power, Compton was in power when all those gunshots. Ask anybody from Catches, when it was 6 o'clock in Marshall, everywhere, ghost town. So call Jeremiah, tell Elisha, when he says him, stop acting like he's not God. Elisha is one of the most dangerous kind of politicians that go up for me right now there. And he know that. And if you want, as I tell him, the person could say whatever he wants. I'm 61. He cannot victimize me. I already victimized my own self already. So how can I victimize somebody that victimized my own self already? You understand, Gabriel? So tell the people the truth. Stop lying to get votes. And I told him that it wasn't the voicemail. I told him that. I said, you campaigning companies, lies. When you talk about the village council, you spent how many years in the village council? You didn't see a lot of things happening there. You didn't talk. He said he was selling sand. He know that. He didn't know that he make money there. So why now you're to change it? Huh? Now you're changing it? Elisha John Robert was talking about his parents. Said that's nonsense, man. Even if you want to go up, but stop spreading rumors, guys. Stop spreading rumors. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Okay, you as well. All right, we have another caller on the line. Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
How are you?
I'm doing okay, and you?
Malawi, man. What about Terry? How you doing?
I'm good.
Listen, did I say Malawi, man? What to me person man? Yesterday was a vibe.
Oh, great vibe.
It really was a vibe.
Great vibe, man.
Yeah. Now, one of your callers spoke about a now politician doing work on a plot of land. He said he building a field. All I want to say in this regard is I'm not sure that the land belongs to government, because the land belongs to the Catholic Church. Mm-hmm. And it was given to the Grace Combined School by the Grace Catholic Church. Jadeda Pabida. Okay,
Yeah.
so him now going to clear the land for the school is wonderful because school is opening in September. On the issue of crime, did I say crime? No. Let's Shelton, I find it strange that a party has organized an activity for the 17th. There is a murder, homicide, that's crime on the day before, 2 days before, and they postponed their activity. But they were able to assemble at 8 o'clock in the morning at Mars and Babano. They postponed the activity in the boulevard because of crime. But they still were able to assemble again the same day in Rodney Bay to do what they normally do and pretend to care about this country. Whom do they think they're fooling? Whom do they think they're fooling?
Themselves.
Do you honestly believe? And for Guy Joseph to say that the Labour Party was having fun whilst the nation was grieving, or what was they doing? They were still preaching the same antics because Guy Joseph said, no Christian will ever support, or anybody who claims to be a Christian will never support the Labour Party. How he knows that? As a Christian man, you all have been on the platform and all you have been preaching is violence, war, division, take over this government by any means necessary. Do they think that we are asleep? We are deaf, we are dumb, we're not hearing, we're not listening? And if we, the law-abiding citizens, are hearing, we are listening, imagine those who are not law-abiding. But most importantly, the point I want to end on, Shelton, Mary Isaac knows that there are people who pay people to kill people. And the former Prime Minister knows that there are people who pay for people to get shot. That we need to have investigated. What it is they know? No. What it is they know that we don't know, that they knows. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Shelton, I have an upset voter there. Irate voter, Stan Bishop. Nothing in this damn country ever seems to work on time. I've been making rounds to the polling station since 6 this morning, and no one has the decency to open the place.
And not even staff who's supposed to be on election day duty anywhere in sight, right?
None.
All right. Yeah, good sir. I just saw this morning The Voice had an article entitled "Open Letter, Chamber of Commerce chastising them for remaining quiet." Yeah. Now I am seeing Chamber announcing political forum with the Chamber of Commerce, a members-only forum. So convenient. Good day, Shelton, Terrence, your technical operator, and all in the live. This is not a coincidence. The crime organizers who are always rejoicing, keeping tallies and statistics, have a well-calculated plan with specific targets. Remember, some guy said elections were supposed to be today, August 18th. So 3 days before, there are multiple homicides in the city. It doesn't take rocket science to figure this out. We shall not be voluntarily Kakakalbasized.
That word I know is only one person who uses that word.
We have a call on the line. Hi, good afternoon, Real Issues.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Felino. Good afternoon, Shelton. Good afternoon to the listeners.
Yes.
Shelton, I have a question to ask. Has Kakal retired from the force?
We don't know.
How about Elisha Norbert?
We still don't know.
And my next question, isn't it against the law to just go about painting government property?
To me, that's yes.
To interfere with it in any way whatsoever.
Because I am seeing that happening in where the guy went down in the gutter. I mean, what he's doing is nice, but does he have permission to do what he's doing there?
I don't know if permission.
We'll find out.
I don't know if permission is needed. But
we'll find out.
That's my contribution.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon to Muriel Lena Finister, who says, Shelton, I have a brother who passed away. He will be buried on Wednesday. His name is St. Mark St. Martin. I think I saw that obituary on the obits. And my condolences to you and to the rest of your family. Another message says, I love Danny, very dynamic. He will be the next Dr. Kenny Anthony. I've never seen it so. Keep it up, Danny. His speech gave me cold sweats. I was there. I enjoyed myself. We have another call on the line. Real Issues.
Hi, good afternoon, Sheldon.
Hi, good afternoon. You're on the air. We're rapidly running out of time, so make it tight, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I totally agree with the caller, that last call a while ago. And I think, if I go for them, it is really peculiar and rather unusual to see that the leader of the opposition gives a state address, an address to the nation. And you have the activity all planned already. But the Saturday night happens. You cancel the event. You don't postpone it. You cancel the event. You have an event. You have another event similar to it the same afternoon, right? But in the morning, the Sunday morning, you go to church. Some of you take Holy Communion, Holy Day now.
Making a mockery of the people's sacrament.
Trying to play with God. And then you come out in the evening, and you're speaking about crime, but you have more rhetoric coming out from your platform.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
No. And that's what the lady was saying this morning. You're taking Holy Communion, a sacrament that is so sacred.
You're so concerned about it.
You're going to blaspheme after.
Why put a lost here? You might have push bodies. That's not sack one man. You can't respect about yourself.
Yes, man. Disrespecting the Catholic Church.
And then you have the audacity to want to talk about people who support Labour are not Christians. Because I would rather not be a Christian and support Labour than to be a Christian like I choose.
Okay, we have another call coming. Let's see if we can squeeze it in. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Felena.
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes. Mr. Felena.
Hi.
I went and voted already. The only person that left to vote is Guy. They are calling his name, no appearance.
No appearance.
No appearance. So they said when it's 6 o'clock, if they don't see him, they close in the post.
Right.
So, but I voted already, yeah?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
We should really give this guy the 75th birthday guy, you know? Maybe put him on the screen.
Yeah,
The birthday man. We don't have his name, do we?
Yeah, his name is Hani Duncan.
Hani Duncan.
Yes.
Happy birthday, young man.
We don't have any call on the line. Okay, well.
Happy birthday, young man.
Okay, happy birthday to you, Hani Duncan, who by the way, also has the name Helen. Helen is his name. I was a little freaked out when he told me his name is Helen Duncan, or it is also known as Hani Duncan. I preferred the Hani because he looks very much a man to me, and it's unusual to hear, although it happens, you know. Happy birthday. He's always staying in touch, and I wish you the very best, you know, for... long life, good health, you know, prosperity, at least comfort and so on. So, all right. Cornelia Jacob says she also voted, so she wants to let us know that. Tomorrow, I want to read a conversation that a couple of Seventh-day Adventists have been having about this whole thing with
the Adventists.
Yeah, Guy Joseph and so on. You know. And in fact, they wanted to talk about a particular church, and I'll say it's a Roman Catholic church, that the UWP seems to be trying to swarm and to overwhelm.
We know.
You know, with their numbers and so on.
Yes.
They are concerned about the behavior of the priest, that they believe if he's not encouraging it, he's giving off the wrong impression, but maybe that is the intended impression. I don't know. Another Labourite has assured me that priest is a supporter of the Labour Party, but many people are saying they don't see that being manifested. No priest is under any obligation to support any politician or any political party. And if they do, privately or whatever, I'll say it's their business. But at the end of the day, we are talking about impressions and confidence. What impressions have been created and what confidence does it give the flock? But this is something the UWP did in the 2016 election, especially when Ansler Ray tried to go on and bombard churches and all this sort of thing.
They must have been carrying filthy lucre too.
Yes.
And everybody responds.
Yes.
But Shelton, before we go, do not ask your father for anything I'll take care of you. You're a beautiful woman. When you come in to see your friend, come to my office alone.
Yes. All right.
We will expose the rest. Trust me.
Okay. Thank you very much, Terry Fenelo, and thank you very much, Jaquan. Thanks, everyone, for being part of The Real Issues on another day at the start of another week. Till the same time tomorrow from 12:30 to 2 on Real FM Radio, NBC Television, and also on Facebook and YouTube live streaming. This is Shelton Daniel for The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters, signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday.
The winning numbers for the morning draw of Monday, 18th August 2025 were Big 4, 5, 7, 1, 3. Big 4 multi-X, 2X. Pick 2, 0, 5. Pick 2 multi-X, 2X. Lucky 3, 8, 3, 0. Lucky 3 multi-X, 2X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues.